Okay, this is a Marietta bathroom. This is old style from the 70s. The threshold, you can tell, usually that kind of tells me that this floor has a buildup. Whenever I see one of these marble thresholds, the buildup below this grade will be a lathing. It'll be a black tar paper first, and then lathing, and then mortar set on top of that, and then these tiles set on top of the mortar. So that's normally how it goes from this era. These type of tile are also very typical from that era. And then of course in the shower, this is just, you know, normal size 5-foot shower, 5x32. This tile we're not really seeing anymore, this type of color anyway. Although given the fact that this is probably 35 plus years old, it's really not in that bad of a condition. So either they've done some regrouting on this, which looks to be maybe the case, or they've just done a lot of care and maintenance on it. Either which way, it looks pretty good. I typically see a lot of mold and mildew right at the bottom of the bathtub where it meets the tile, and I'm not seeing that here at all. So it's very pristine for how old it is. The construction method is normally the same on this. You see these mud caps. Normally what they did in the 70s and into the 80s is they had the sheetrock and then a second layer of sheetrock so that they can put these mud caps on. When you see a flat bullnose, then it's not the case, but in this case it's almost always going to be the lathing with the mortar that I was telling you about, and in which case this would be a very heavy wall, because once you start knocking this out, you start having to pull out all that mortar and lathing and everything. I can't say that for sure in this particular bathroom. I'm going to assume that it's sheetrock on sheetrock and not the mortar and the lathing, but I could be wrong. But also based on the fact that this is a cast iron tub almost tells me that it's going to be the lathing and the mortar type of situation. So getting back to this floor area, there is an issue on here that apparently has crept up in the last couple of years, that these tile are missing grout. There's one tile here that's already cracked, and you see the grout's missing, and that usually has to do with movement. Anytime there's movement between the tile, the Achilles heel is always going to be the grout's the weakest spot, so the grout's going to start popping up. So what the customer has actually found out, and I was very surprised at, is that there is no Backerboard, and not having any Backerboard basically makes it to the point where these tiles will literally pull up, you see. So this is straight plywood, like literally straight plywood, and that's why these are pulling up. So you can see the glue on here seems to be construction adhesive. This isn't thin set, this isn't mortar. In fact, on this one you can pretty clearly see that it looks like it's construction adhesive. I mean, it's a glue rather than thin set or any type of tile adhesive, which is kind of odd for a lot of different reasons. One, it kind of negates what I said earlier about the construction method, that they did not do the lathing, they did not put any type of backer on here, and that this has lasted as long as it did really surprises me. But this is definitely the wrong way to tile a floor. Never ever put tile straight on a plywood, because this would normally happen within 6 months or a year, not even that, sometimes less time this would happen. That it's lasted this long has really surprised me. You know, again, construction adhesive is not the right way to go. Also, there's a separation between these two pieces of plywood, and the separation has some bounce in it. So I'm not convinced that there's not a, look how easy. I'm not convinced that there's not a floor joist below here. There could be. I see the nails on both sides, so that would indicate there's a floor joist here, but the pushing down of this plywood kind of tells me otherwise, that maybe there's not a floor joist below here, or maybe the floor joist only comes up to this point and then this is where it's soft, which is why it's coming up so easy. That's just, you know, if you ever see your contractor putting tile straight to your plywood, that's a red flag right there. There should be Backerboard so that your tile won't pop up like this. That's a big no-no. Anyway, getting back to the project here. Typically what I see construction wise when builders do a house, and I normally see it with a plastic or otherwise known as a fiberglass tub enclosure, is that those things are finite. They're a certain length and depth, and so anything beyond that they have to do fill-in. So I have a few videos where I've had very large fill-in areas, and then the shower is very small because the shower is what it is and they have to fill in whatever gap there is. So the same thing goes for here, where there's a 5-foot long bathtub. That's finite because the bathroom itself is probably about 6 foot long. They had no choice but to use this other foot as a filler. Not quite a foot, it looks like about maybe 9 or 10 inches, but still this area here is normally just a filler room. And so if you notice, this shower could be 6 foot long or 5 and some inches as opposed to what it is now, which is what we're going to try and do. Not always is that the case. Sometimes there's duct work in here, sometimes there's electrical, sometimes there's, you know, a stack for your plumbing. There are things inside there that I'm unaware of at this point, and I guess I'll find out when I start doing the tear out part of it. But most of that stuff can still be put in this back wall. I've done it quite often where I'll run into a stack and I'll cut it off from the bottom and then turn it and run it back up the wall and into the ceiling again. But again, sight unseen, I'm not 100% sure that that's going to be possible, but I'm going to try everything I can do to make that happen, because this will be a tub to shower conversion, so the larger shower we can get out of this, the better. Typically I'll do the curb as far as I can, and in this case I'm precluded from going a far distance, although there's a good distance of room between the toilet and the vanity. Moving the toilet over just a few inches will give me another foot of depth that I can come over here and then make the curb on this end and then get some depth out of it in addition to some width. But the conversion will be much better than what this is now. It's functional still, but it's outdated, and so I think that's the main reason to do this. And of course the floor has to be done no matter what. So what I anticipate is that there will be a complete shower here with the drain centered, as it's not now. All tubs are up against the wall, so the drain will be centered here. The shower will probably be, instead of the 32 that it is now in depth, it'll probably be at least 3 foot, if not 3 foot and some inches, and then it'll be hopefully 6 foot long with the shower head still on the same wall, and eventually a 12 by 12 or maybe a 16 by 16 tile going on all 3 walls with a niche on the back wall. I almost always do niches about 30 inches long. And then of course a new shower fixture. The toilet I think is going to be staying, and the vanity will be changed out, and eventually this will be an updated bathroom from what it is now. It's a good size. This is a hall bathroom, and as far as hall bathrooms go, it's a good size bathroom, but the update will really make it pop, and that just still trips me out that any tiler would do that. But anyway, I'm not doing the tear out, so there's not any of the damage that I can show you. Once all this is taken out, I can come back and show you and kind of do an update on that. But the customer's going to be doing the tear out on this, and so I'm out of here. Okay, it's 7 days later and this bathroom is done. As far as what my responsibility is for it anyway, if you recall, 7 days ago it was a Monday. Today is a Monday, and so what I've done is obviously I've put in this 12 by 12, 13 by 13 porcelain tile that kind of replicates travertine. I like it. I usually do the aluminum transition strips, but in this case the customer wanted a marble one, and so this marble actually matches the paint side of here more or less, but it's the only color they had that could closely match this tile, whatever. I don't particularly like the match, but it does work, and it also matches the top of the curb, the contiguous curb top that I like. I was able to put one of those in as well. So all this is a diagonal on an entire floor. It was 12 by 12, or I'm sorry, 4 by 4 ceramic, as you saw before. So this is nice and sturdy. There's no squeaking going on anymore. The door was put down and the tile was put down, and that makes the squeaking go away almost 100% of the time. In the meantime, I'm not responsible to put the vanity in. The customer has it downstairs. I think there's some painting he's going to do first, and he'll be putting that in. It's going to be a 5-foot vanity, basically in the same basic area that it was before, and then of course the toilet will get set too. at his convenience. And then I think he's going to put some type of shelving system over here in the corner. Obviously he got rid of that closet, so that's it. My end was doing the floor in the shower, and took it from what it was, 5 foot exactly, got another 8 or 9 inches out of it because this box got taken out. And so, you know, it's almost a 6 foot wide shower by 3 foot deep. On the inside it's 36 inches, I believe. So pretty good sized shower for a hall bathroom. This is also the customer's design. This is just basically comes on mats, or it comes in sheets rather, a 12 by 12 sheet, these things here. And then the medallions, the customer actually had me take the little 4 pieces that are the travertine on the inside, cut those out and inset the medallions every other one. So every other one got medallions. That's not the way the strip came originally. And then he had a rope that also matched the same color. So he wanted the rope top and bottom, which I did, and that became the border. And then he wanted to replicate that same idea into the back, or into the niche area. So I took basically a sheet of 3 by 3 of these 2 by 2, so 3 rows by 3 rows, and put a medallion in the center, and then put the rope, made kind of a diamond within a diamond, because then I cut the tile on a diamond as well, and then did, you know, all the fill-in pieces. And of course, as I always do, it's framed out with bull nose, and the same bull nose is going up here, top to bottom, and top to bottom on the left. And then, as I already mentioned, there is a contiguous curb top, which is one solid piece, which I really like a lot. It negates any grout lines having issues with water penetration. Plus the curb is sloped at an angle about 20-25 degrees going inside the shower. So when the shower doors get put on, any runoff water from the shower doors will naturally want to go into the shower. And then of course, same field tile on the outside, on the inside as well. And then, as I mentioned already, a 2 by 2, actually I think it's a 3 by 3 on a mesh that got put on the floor, same as up there. And then a soap dish. So this travertine soap dish got integrated in. And I put it on the left side there because, as I said before, we had a smaller room here and a larger room here, so it kind of fit there to kind of make it look symmetrical. And of course, a new shower fixture. He wanted the shower head on this side and the fixture on that side. So when he gets in on this side, he doesn't have to feel cold water. He could just turn it on from here. So that was his idea. All the plumbing got taken through the floor up here, and then the shower head part got brought back around and then up the wall, and there you go. And so I'm out of here. This is a 7-day job, as I said, to build this shower from scratch and do the floor, and it looks nice. It looks a lot better than it was, and it's definitely updated. So I am gonna back out of here and on to the next job.